I had this conversation this afternoon.
A unique sound. Do you find that, I mean, for you guys out there, who's got a home studio here that they're working in? Right. How difficult is it, do you think, to get that unique sound? I mean, are there processes or are there things that you find that help that?
I'd go this one. Sure. I actually had this conversation just this afternoon.
Don't forget to yell.
Okay, sorry. I had this conversation this afternoon with a client that we're working towards doing an EP for. And probably the biggest problem that I saw with the client, we were discussing his music, we were discussing where he wanted it to go. And the problem I saw, the biggest issue he had was, he said, well, I'm into Emery at the moment, so I'm listening to that, and it's really, so I'm writing like Emery, and then, I'll be into Matchbox 20 and I'll be writing like that. And I was just sort of explaining to him, without pigeonholing an artist tightly into a genre that there's no escape from, all those influences can be brought constructively into the project, but it's the essence of the artist or the voice of the artist. If you're in a band, the collective voice of the band, which is the important identifier for that band. I mean, you've probably had the experience where you've heard a new song on the radio that you don't know who the artist is, and immediately you go, gee, that sounds like U2, or being topical at the moment, or that sounds like Coldplay, or they've got that unique essence that as soon as you hear Bono sing, or Chris Martin sing, or the Edge's guitar, or the Stones, the Doors, all those bands, I think we can all agree that they have an identifiable character about them that you can immediately pick up on. And to me, there's two types of bands in this world. There's your cookie cutter, carbon copy type bands that really don't excite someone like me. I don't know about the rest of you. Sorry if I've offended any Nickelback fans out there. But then there's bands that are maybe more into the art or more into being creative, and that's kind of what I'm into. And I think the general public, although we can look at the CD buying public as sheep sometimes, just buying what's shoved down their throat, I think that there's definitely artists and bands come along that maybe the record companies didn't even see coming, but for whatever reason we're attracted to them. And I believe it's partly that uniqueness that we're attracted to. And so to me as a producer, it's really important to work with the artist to try and identify what is their voice. And to answer your question, it can, I think for some people that's a really easy road. They come together collectively and they make this great sound together that it wasn't very much hard work at all. Yet for other bands it can be a real, like for instance I play in a band called Grand Atlantic. Now the guys that I'm playing with, we've actually played together in collaborations over the years for quite a while. It took us, I've got to say, it was a labour to find what our uniqueness was. What was that thing that we called our sound, or the thing that we did that was specific to us. So, but I definitely challenge you all here that to me, that's going to be the thing that stands you out. We don't want to hear another Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? We've got one of them already. We don't even want another Coldplay. If you haven't got, if you're trying to sound exactly the same as that, I think you failed from the beginning. Sure, take them as influences. That's fantastic. That's what we all do. There's nothing really new. Take those things on as influences, but learn to turn them into something that you've made your own. They've got your stamp on it.
I'll add something to that, Scott. I think for me, when I look at an original sound, I think it's very difficult to have an original sound considering how much music, comes before us, For me, it's more about combinations, as in, it's a Wolf Mother backing track with a female singer. Oh, that's different, And I think from my perspective, which is, trying very much to work in record company world, they do like their catchphrases. It's like, it's Coldplay mixed with Foo Fighters. Oh, what's that sound like? That could be good, And I'm often talking to people in those sort of terms, this mixed with this. And also, it's not necessarily about an original sound. Like, you can't really say that Wolf Mother have an original sound, but that's a sound we haven't heard a band do for a while, like 25 years. So I think it's as much about what's not out there as it is about an original sound, and that's kind of where I look at it from.